The danger of dengue looming large with the warning of a possible infection surge this year. The case tally last week was almost double that in the same period a year ago. Learning how to fight dengue and wipe out mozzies can also be fun. A game called Sam's Mozzie Adventure has been found to be effective in doing just that. Now, the app by SingHealth follows the character Sam to help him find mosquito breeding spots. Now, for each correct spot, Sam animates to fix the issue. Volunteers who played the game were more keen to use what they'd learned and also more aware of breeding sites such as blocked drains. SingHealth worked with app developer AI Innovation Labs on this game. It can be downloaded on phones or on your laptop.
Well, to tell us more, we have Associate Professor Tan Ngiap Chuan. He is Director of Research at SingHealth Polyclinics. Prof. Tan, thanks for joining us. First of all, you're calling this a serious game. Can you explain what that means in terms of app terminology?
Yes, playing digital games using our device and smartphones for our pleasure and leisure is very popular in Singapore. But when these games are designed for healthcare applications, we call them serious games. So we are very delighted to share with all of the audience that we have developed such a game, as you have introduced it earlier on. This game is aimed at raising the awareness of the public in identifying and removing mosquito breeding sites. In a way, we are trying to curb dengue infection, and it's very much aligned to Healthier SG.
Professor Tan, understanding how to wipe out mozzies and where mosquitoes breed, it's important for every Singaporean to know this because it's such a problem, a perennial one in Singapore. But how did the idea of putting this on an app to make it into a game actually come about?
Right. As a population, we come from diverse background. We have our preferences. We have different learning methods. So we conceptualized these serious games targeting at people who are using their smartphone to play games. Why not put in an element where there is an educational value as well? And in this case, we are trying to educate the public to see how they can actually play their role in removing and reducing the number of mosquito breeding sites. As we are aware, mosquitoes are carriers of not only the dengue virus, but also chikungunya, Zika viruses. And removing these mosquitoes will actually us reduce the incidence of all this viral infection and keeping us very healthy in Singapore.
Prof, you, in your own words, you said you're targeting those handphone users. Is there then a concern that this game to educate will only do so for those who are already digitally savvy and leave out other demographics?
Right. So while these games are largely target at people who are already using their smartphones to play games, anyone who has an interest are easily inducted to play the game. And at the same time, we are also exploring other options whereby we try to use other methods to educate the public as well as raise their awareness in controlling mosquitoes in our surroundings. So this is not the exclusive method that we were thinking about.
Prof. Tan, potentially we could see this app being used, this game, sort of the serious game idea being used to educate for other situations, perhaps other than healthcare. Could you tell us something about that, how we can use it to be able to get the message across?
Right. So largely, it is being used in education purpose, and we have used it for training our doctors, upskilling them in common procedures. So as a clinician, we are all looking at its application in healthcare, and there are actually other disease entities that I think serious game may have actually a role to play in raising their awareness. So for one example, hypertension as well as chronic kidney disease are common in Singapore and with potentially serious health implications. And we are already conceptualizing serious game to raise the public awareness towards understanding, recognizing food with high salt content. As we all know that high salt content actually is a risk factor for hypertension and actually will aggravate kidney diseases. And by raising the awareness using the serious game, we hope that we are also have a role to play in reducing the prevalence of hypertension and chronic kidney disease in our local system.
All right, Professor Tan, thank you very much for sharing those insights. And for those curious, again, the app is called Sam's Mozzie Adventure. It can be downloaded onto your phone. Professor Tan Ngiap Chuan there, Director of Research, SingHealth Polyclinics.